first things first. Difficult decision to move away from Leeds?
Yeah, it was a tough decision because I love the girls so much, and they are, they have been my family for many seasons. Probably seen most of them more than I've seen some of my family members. So it was tough, but I knew it was the right decision. It 100% was the right decision. Yeah.
What I love about this is chaos everywhere. Is that you approach York? I mean, I find it hard to approach people to come on the podcast for fear of rejection. How hard is it to contact a club to try and get a space there?
Yeah, it was, but nothing ventured, nothing gained, I guess. And I thought, what have I got to lose? Just a no. No, there's no room. That was the worst thing that could have happened. So, and the positives of a yes outweighed the no. So, I don't know. I mean, I just went for it. I didn't really think about it. I just went for it, and then it just was what it was. And obviously, if it was a no, then it were a no, but it wasn't, and I'm grateful it wasn't.
There's been a fair amount of transfer movement within the women's game before the start of the new season. Should we expect that as the norm now, or has it surprised you a little bit?
Not really. I wouldn't say it surprised me. I think each team is probably very different, and if you're not about what that one team is about, you'll find one that it fits more your ethos. And I think a lot of I know Rhiannon from York, and it was Rhiannon that said, "Oh, why don't you try come here?" So, and I think with moving teams, you do get a lot of friends as well, and if they move, they can tell you what the other team's all about. And I don't know, really. I suppose it's just wherever you're happy, and if you're happy settled in the team that you're at, then fair enough. But if not, I think there's such a big. Sometimes it's a big taboo on moving, and moving what for, what have they offered, but it can just be down to happiness or a new challenge. It doesn't have to be as there's an incentive in there.
Can you see that the top three teams now are establishing themselves, and York are at a stage that Leeds might have been at maybe 5 years ago when you sort of got that group together that started to win things?
I think York have always been a very good team. I mean, York for the last 2 seasons anyway have been a very good team, and I think even last year at the grand final against Leeds, they held their own. They got league leaders York last year as well. So I think it's just and I say it in many interviews, it is just whatever happens on the day. And I think all the girls are so talented across rugby. Women's rugby league in general, the girls are just so talented. So it's hard to say, really. It's hard to say whether they're at that stage. I think they were always at a high standard. They were always at a good standard anyway. But yeah, they've obviously got a couple of players from Cass, from Bradford, still the original York. So yeah, it's going to be exciting.
The longer things go on at York, the more people can't throw at them that they're just a lot of players from Castleford in Yorkshire. It's obviously you coming in from Leeds, there's players coming in from all over the place now. But it's that they won the League Leaders' Shield, as you mentioned, but it's that final victory they're looking for, either in the Challenge Cup or the grand final itself. You've won everything with Leeds. Is that something you can bring to the club, that winning mentality, so to speak?
I hope so. Maybe I'm a lucky charm. I don't know. I hope so. Obviously, you want to be in it to win it, and you want to compete to win. So I'm just hoping, and I believe I am the oldest there as well. So I'm hoping my wisdom and my experience might just, add a little bit of value to their already incredible team at York.
I mean, experience it's not age, it's experience, isn't it? That's what you're bringing to the squad, not age, experience.
Yeah, I suppose I've got a lot. I've been playing since I was 11 or 12, and I'm 33 now, so I've been playing a long time.
So you've seen quite a few changes in that time. Did you ever think when you started playing that Women's Super League, well, it wasn't even a thing in that point, would be where the top flight of Women's Rugby League would be where it is today?
Absolutely not. No, I never would have imagined it ever. But it's amazing how fast it's going and just how much it's developing. And it's so exciting for the young ones that are coming up now to what even just in a couple of years the possibilities and all the experiences that they're going to have is just amazing. It must be just so exciting for them, and I'm excited for them as well.
I guess one of the things on the horizon as well is the NRLW have now completed their collective bargaining agreement for the women's game, which is fantastic. They're expanding to 10 teams. So it's going to open opportunities as well for some of our best young players, maybe to be trying their hand in Australia. I mean, on the one hand, you'd want them to stay here and improve the game over here. But I would imagine if you were asked your advice, it would be travel the world, chance your arm, see how it goes, try and make it over there. And if necessary, come back as a more experienced, rounded player.
Oh my gosh, definitely. I think to turn down an opportunity like that, I don't know. I just think it'd be full of what ifs, and definitely 100%. I would say to anybody that gets the opportunity to go over there, because it's just something else, isn't it? Their rugby over there is just completely something else. So even if they can go over there and bring their experience over there back over here to improve, even just a little bit the women's game, then and then that experience for themselves when they're older, they'll never forget that. So absolutely 100%, like grab it with both hands, take it.
And it should improve the national team as well, because we've seen how even in the men's game that the core of the team now is playing in the NRLW, and that has overall made them more competitive because they understand those extra levels of intensity. Do you think that again is a key between where we got to in this World Cup and maybe making the final in the next one?
I think they are rugby is like their national sports, isn't it? So they've been doing that a long time, and I think they are so far in front of us still. We are bridging the gap, but they are still so far in front of us. And I think as well, they've got that opportunity. Like we all work full time. All the England lasses work, or the students, and it is tough. And some of them have got children, which again takes up that time. And I do think it is heading that way, and I do think we are bridging the gap. But yeah, I think that there needs to be, something else, and definitely the starting point would be even, just semi-professional, paying part-time. That'll be a starting point, definitely.
I mean, you realise everyone thinks that you've moved to York and they've got thousands and thousands of pounds being paid to the players every week. So, no, people believe that York and Leeds are now paying thousands of pounds. I generally think that's what people think, but as you say, it's stepping stones, isn't it? It's not as if you're going to become rich by being a female rugby league player in 2023.
Oh, definitely not. And I'm one of those players. Again, I've come, coming up through what we had when I was younger. You don't, well, definitely me. I don't play rugby for money. I do not play it for rugby for money. And if at any point I was 100% stopping to enjoy it, that I wasn't enjoying it as much, but I got paid thousands, I would still quit, because if there's no enjoyment in it, what's the point? And I think we don't get paid the thousands, so it has to be about passion. It has to be about the love of sport, and about, it's not just about rugby in general, it's about the socialising as well, and making all the friends that you make, and just getting out of, that everyday life of working and, just being at home and just being able to get out and kick a ball about with your mates. So it's not about the money for me anyway.
No, there's no money in podcasting either, let me tell you. You just mentioned the World Cup, we just mentioned England, but the World Cup qualifiers coming up this autumn involving a plethora of nations people wouldn't have thought were involved in rugby league. Have you got any heritage you can play for anyone in these upcoming qualifiers? Maybe a bit of Turkish or Serbian or Maltese?
No, Unfortunately not. I've asked this to my mum and dad, and they said no, sorry, but no. I was like, oh, okay then. But it would be incredible, but no, nothing, unfortunately.
Did you watch much of the World Cup? Because a lot of it was obviously based in New York, wasn't it?
Yeah. I did. Yeah, I watched the women's games, and I thought they were, the game Australia and New Zealand, which were quite a close call. That was a really interesting one. Really interesting, but Australia. What can you say other than wow? They're amazing, aren't they? In every sense of it, they're amazing.
We still haven't got over Brazil and Canada. That's still our favourite game we've ever seen. Lindsay Anfield, what about her as a coach made you want to pick up the phone to her?
I think that when she moved to York to coach, a lot of the players followed her or wanted to follow her, and I thought, if you've got someone there who the players want to follow her, and I thought she must be something special for them to just want to follow her anywhere. So yeah, I thought when I was kind of looking around, thinking what teams are out there, York were my top one, just purely because of that. And obviously Lindsay's got a lot of experience herself. She was in, the England team, and she's been at the very top of her game. I just think the experience that she's got, and she's genuinely interested in a team as well. She's genuinely interested in the players, and she genuinely wants them to do well and to make sure that they're okay mentally, emotionally, physically. So yeah, she's a really good coach.
You mentioned
and a good person as well.
Well, that's also important. You mentioned experience a lot. Presumably, one of the reasons she was so keen to bring you in was obviously the retirement of Katie Langan, who's been a fantastic player for York over, I think 14 years. Do you see yourself maybe in that sort of captain, vice-captain role, taking over her mantle?
No, I don't think so. I think I just want to concentrate on me. I think that's just what I want to do. Don't get me wrong, I don't, I'm always keen to, check on the girls, see if they're okay. And I don't know, I think with that experience, obviously, there's a wise old head on my shoulders, but I don't think so. I think I'm just happy just to concentrate on myself and make sure I'm the best that I can be for the team.
I guess one of the first incentives for you as well is the Challenge Cup's coming up, which is group stages early on, but you'd think that the way that those seedings had worked, you'll get passage through to the next stage, and then you've got the incentive of playing at Wembley. Again, is that on your horizons as the pre-season goes through the grind that it has to? Oh,
absolutely. Who wouldn't want to play in Wembley? That has got to be, one of the highlights if you ever get to play there. So obviously we are working towards that, and we hope we are lucky enough to be able to be there and present for that. I think it would be the first time as well that anyone, women's teams ever played at Wembley. So yeah, making history. Who won't want to be a part of that, I guess?
That must be an amazing platform for a club to build. I think we saw the York men get there in the 1895 Cup a couple of years ago, but for the women to get there, as you say, to be the first, must be such a platform for the sport in the city, which is already starting to build up that support for the women's team.
Oh, definitely, yeah. And as much advertisement and as much, we can throw out there in the media, the better, just to make everyone aware and, just to get more girls and women playing it as well, just to put it out there, because it is such a, like I say, such a good sport, both for discipline and for making friends. And you don't have to play, Super League very competitive level. You can just go down to your local community rugby team and just get involved there.
I can't spell Valkyrie, so I'm having much trouble with the name. But you mentioned earlier one of the current squad in Rhiannon Marshall. I love watching her play because you're never quite sure what she's going to do. Yeah. What's she like to play with and against?
She's horrible to play against, just because she's just got stupid sidestep. And like you said, you just don't know what she's going to do. You genuinely just don't know what she's going to do. To play with, yeah. I've played with Rhiannon before. I played with her at Headingley, I played with her at Bradford, played with her at Leeds. So she's a really good player to play with. She's got really good hands on her, passing the ball, and she sees the opportunity. She's got such good vision on the pitch. She just sees opportunities that others won't even, won't think to look at.
And we mentioned the lure of Wembley, but obviously the 3 games between the teams that won all the trophies last year, Leeds, York and Saints, they're all going to be on Sky. Again, how much of an incentive is that to be able to mention to friends, family, potential people you might know in the commercial world that you're going to be on a television platform?
I know, yeah, it is incredible. It is amazing. I just, when it is like that, like I love the fact that the women's game is on TV, but for me, I try to kind of zone that out because I think that's added pressure for me. So I'm one of those that even, we're playing in massive stadiums, like there's until the end of the game, the ain't cameras there, the ain't a crowd there isn't anything there for me. I just try to block all that out until the end of the game. But it is amazing that it is on TV. I
don't expect you to get amber and black braided hair then.
No, I've had the same hairstyle for probably about 10 years, and it will carry on being the same until I retire.
You want to go back to those games where we were kind of vaguely in lockdown, where you were just playing in front of, I think, me at Bellevue and no one else. You want to go back to those days now?
Yeah, well, that's what it was like back in the day. We're around a pitch with maybe about 5 to 10 people there, and yeah, I think you've just got. For me, I know other people are different, but for me, I've got to mentally prepare and not be aware of what's going on around me. I need to be in that moment and focus on what, so nothing influences me, or the nerves don't get too much. So that's just what I do. But I know the girls might thrive off it and they might play better because there's a crowd, but not for me.
Look good, play good. Someone told us before, but I think she was lying to us. How have you been fitting in at York? Obviously, as you say, you know some of the players already, but how's training been going since you've moved to the club?
Yeah, it's been really good. I went before the season started just to get to know some of the girls there, just to get to know the team, but it's been really good, to be honest. I've really enjoyed it, and they've made me feel so welcome, and I thought it would be really hard. I thought, I'm gonna have to earn my stripes here, but they've all been so nice and been so lovely and welcoming. So I really appreciate them doing that, because it can be hard for anyone going to a new team where they're already so established themselves, and then you've just got little old me going in. So yeah, they've been really kind to me.
I guess as well, you're moving from potentially playing your games at Headingley to double headers at the LNER Stadium, a facility you're familiar with, and again I suspect one that fits all the criteria for modern sport.
Oh gosh, yeah, it's an incredible stadium. Again, yeah, we did play there quite a few times with Leeds, but yeah, it's gonna be weird playing there and that being the home ground, but it's exciting, and it's a new change.
And is it going to be weird running out at Headingley and facing what used to be your teammates as the foe? Obviously no quarter given on either side, but will that feel strange the first time you do it?
Oh, absolutely, yeah. It really will. I'm trying, when you think, or you sit and think about it, and you're like, oh, I wonder. But yeah, I think, like I say, I still, incredibly close to most of the Leeds lasses, and I think it'll be, obviously when you cross that whitewash, that's it, it's game time, and then, after, it'll be like, all times, but it's going to be strange. Yeah.
No sledging going on. You'll be cordial to each other when you're going packing down for scrums or whatever, won't you? You won't be slagging each other off.
I don't know. I might give Butcher a bit of rubbish talk. No, I'm joking.
Final one from me. And I was apparently in the York City Knights women's WhatsApp group last year. Obviously, that's been rebranded thanks to my prediction and that Saints were going to run away with everything. And obviously, I got that wrong. Any kind of predictions you want from me this year on how York will do?
Oh, so I'm going to be adventurous, and I'm going to say, I don't know. We have got a real strong team. I'm sure as do the other teams, but I'm going to go out on a limb and I'm going to say York to win the Challenge Cup final. Let's just start there.
If I say anything, my mate Kelsey, obviously very close friends, obviously now because spoken to her at least twice after matches. She loves it when I predict York to do badly. So I don't really know. It's like reverse psychology. I don't really know where to go with my predictions this year, but
yeah,
it's tricky. I think I might make no predictions whatsoever and then get in no trouble. I think that's the best way to go, isn't it, Phil?
Yeah, I've only got one question left. York used some French players last year, which seemed to work really well, both not only in terms of bolstering the squad when they had injuries, but I think aided their game as well when they went back and played for France in the World Cup. Have you heard if there's any plans to do the same this year?
I don't. From what I know, I wouldn't say so. No, because the squad is, we have got a big squad and injuries. Most people back from injuries, and we've had additions. So, but you never know. But from what I know, and with the squad that's been training, I don't think so.
Obviously, I'm purely neutral. Phil's biased, he likes them. But I'm neutral. So very best of luck to York this season. I hope you get all the success in the world, which would upset some people, and not me. And hopefully we see you running out at Wembley in the Challenge Cup final, because that would be an amazing time, an amazing moment.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, thank you so much. It's been lovely to talk to you both.
No problem. Thank you very much for your time.
Thank you.